What? Why? Hi. Uh, what's up? Hi, folks. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. How you doing? Your fresh pot of tea. I'm here on a Saturday. Is anybody on YouTube? Hello? Anybody on YouTube? So, how many of you guys had an opportunity to answer the questions? Porgies are so underrated. What's a porgy? I don't know what a porgy is. What is it? What's a porgy? Hi. Hey, Star Child, how you doing? Hey, Kyle. What's a porgy? Tell me. I went bowling yesterday. I did terribly. Hi, Linda. Fish. Oh, I've never had it. My favorite fish is croaker fish. My favorite fish is croaker fish. It doesn't seem like anybody's going to be on YouTube. Maybe y'all should go over to Instagram. I've never had a porgy before. How many of you guys had an opportunity? You get high off of porgy fish? No, I don't want that. I don't want that. My sister and I were talking about weed today and how we just both, neither one of us can tolerate it. It's just not our thing at all. I think for me, I know it has a lot to do with me being like a control freak. So that doesn't vibe with I don't relax well, if that makes sense. I mean, you know, I am a blood type AB, so relaxing for me is, what's that? What's relaxing? Even if I'm like laying on my bed, like watching something, I'm still doing something. I can't just lay there and do nothing. I have to be doing something while I'm laying there, which is wild. So if you've had an opportunity to answer the quiz questions yesterday, I wanted to make the quiz questions a little more difficult than they were the last time. The last time I gave you guys some very simple questions. This time I wanted it to be a little more difficult. Okay. So we're going to go over the answers. We're going to go over the answers because a lot of y'all got them wrong. Now, you can be forgiven if you're new. If you're new. Nobody is on YouTube. Like, there's only 3 people on YouTube. Well, now there's 5. Oh, did I share everywhere? I shared it on Instagram. And I think I shared it in our Facebook group. Yeah. So, it doesn't matter. I'm still just going to use the content anyway. So our first question, let me go to the questions and let's get the answers. So I asked you guys, what food is the biggest problem for blood type B and AB? Y'all gave a lot of different answers. But the question was, what food is the biggest problem for blood type B and AB? Put your answer in the comments. What is the number one food that is a problem for blood type chicken? Let me see what y'all was saying over here on let me see what y'all was saying over here. I don't think wait, oh, here it is. Let me see what y'all was saying over here. We got 11 answers. Somebody said red meat. Why would you think that beef would be the biggest problem for blood type B? Why would beef be the biggest problem? I didn't say what foods. I said what food. Chicken. Okay. So we got red meat, chicken and potatoes, corn, chicken, potatoes, fructose, etc. Chicken, potatoes, wheat, chicken, potatoes, and more. Have y'all never taken a test before at school? Oh, B is not the opposite of O. B is not the opposite of O. A is the opposite of O. Somebody else said kidney beans, which is absolutely wrong because y'all actually benefit from kidney beans. And then someone, and Eddie, the guy on the couch, who we know is just a joke, said potatoes. The biggest problem food for blood type B and AB is chicken. Who knows why? B is very close to O. Those are the only two red meat eating blood types. So it is not the opposite of O. Okay. Why is it such a problem? Put in the comments. Why is chicken? First of all, chicken doesn't benefit anybody. That's number one. Monique says blood clots, estrogen. What else? Lectin sensitivity. So the symptoms that fall under lectin sensitivity is swollen and painful joints, inflammation, gut issues, hormonal fluctuations, neurological problems, skin issues. Okay. Lectin sensitivity is the main reason because blood type B and blood type AB are extremely sensitive to the lectins in food. Okay. Yeah. So when a blood type B and a blood type AB eat chicken, the lectin in the chicken actually attacks our bloodstream, causing our red blood cells to fuse together, creating blood clots, pulmonary embolisms, autoimmune diseases, and stroke. That's why chicken is the biggest problem food for blood type B and AB. It literally will kill us. It was literally killing me for sure. Okay. So I need y'all to remember this stuff. Repetition is the way to remember things. Now, what happens to blood type A when they eat vinegar? Put in the comments. Y'all didn't know y'all were going to be tested? What happens to blood type A when they eat vinegar? Someone said leads to blood clots. It can. White vinegar equals corn. It thickens the blood. That's the answer. It stops the body from making insulin. It can, because it's coming from corn. I could be wrong. I'm an O, but I believe it thins out their blood. and that's wrong. It makes their blood thick. Okay. Hi, Patricia. It makes their blood thick. Blood type A already has naturally thick blood. Okay. The technical reason why blood type A has naturally thicker blood is our blood has what's known as blood clotting factor 8. It's called factor 8. Okay. That is a factor of all of our blood that makes sure that if we get into an accident or cut ourselves or whatever, that our blood will clot. Blood type A has the highest level of blood clotting factor 8. Blood type O has the lowest level of blood clotting factor 8. Okay. So that means that blood type O has the thinnest blood. Blood type A has the thickest blood. Okay. However, there are foods that make the blood even thicker than what it already is. Vinegar is the number one thing. Okay. So whether you're doing vinegar shots or you're eating condiments, all condiments have vinegar in it. So your mayonnaise, your mustard, your ketchup, your barbecue sauce, your hot sauce, your pickles, your relish, your olives, all of that stuff has white distilled vinegar in it. All of it has apple cider vinegar in it or whatever. And so where the corn comes in is white distilled vinegar is made from corn. And even your apple cider vinegar is cut, meaning the acidity is cut down because they mix white vinegar in with the full strength apple cider vinegar. So regardless of whether it's apple cider vinegar or not, you're still getting corn-based vinegar. How that connects to the insulin is corn stops the body from making insulin. And that insulin is very important to stabilizing your blood pressure. If you don't have enough insulin, or if your body doesn't make insulin, or if you're insulin resistant, you're going to have high blood pressure. Okay. So blood type A is encouraged to avoid vinegar, liquor. Liquor is also made from corn. All the brown liquor on the market is made from corn. Share the live, please, on Instagram. Share the live, please, on YouTube. Share the live. Let me share it. Let me share it too. So I'm pretty sure these people didn't know I was going live today. All right. So one thing that blood type A is susceptible to, there are 3 things that blood type A is predisposed to: diabetes, heart disease, and certain cancers like stomach cancer. Okay. At the root of your heart disease is your thick blood. So heart disease being the number 1 killer in America, and more Black women having heart disease more than any other racial group in the country, you should try to avoid vinegar at all costs if you are a blood type A. Period. Okay? Just let it go. You can make your own salad dressings. You don't need vinegar. If you're going to have a salad, you should be making your own salad dressing regardless of whatever blood type you are. Okay. All you need to start off a salad dressing is olive oil and lemon juice, and you just build from there. Okay. The third question was, what is the root cause of high blood pressure? Put it in the comments. What is the root cause of high blood pressure? Put it in the comments. So many different answers. Actually, most people got this right. I don't know what this lady's deal is, because she's been on the lives a couple of times, and even on the live, she says dumb shit. Sometimes I just think people say dumb shit purposely. She said something, then she said, please tell me. Carbs, period. Carbs, period. Carbs, 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 carbohydrates, sugar, anything that turns into sugar in your body. Antonia, you're another one that comes here and says crazy shit. And you done been on the live for a year or more. You're another one. Carbohydrates. Okay. What's the technical reason? What's the technical reason, guys? Okay. No one ever taught us that insulin is what controls our blood pressure. No one ever told us that it is insulin that controls our blood pressure. All we ever knew about insulin is that it had something to do with diabetes, right? That's all they ever told us. Don't y'all wonder why? Don't y'all wonder why? My theory is this. If they would have told us that insulin is what controls our blood pressure, we would have stopped eating carbohydrates a long time ago. Because when you're a diabetic, they tell you to eat a low carb diet. If you're eating a low carb diet for your blood pressure would regulate itself. They don't want you off them pills. They don't want you off them pills. The money. The reason that we don't know this stuff, is because they don't want us knowing it. They do not want us to stop being sick. It's too lucrative. They're making way too much money. Okay. So our insulin is what controls our blood pressure. If you are eating a bunch of carbohydrates, then you are raising your blood sugar. That then triggers your pancreas to release more insulin into your bloodstream. The problem is, okay, that insulin is not getting into your red blood cells. It's just swimming around in your arteries and your veins, not doing anything. Okay. When that happens, though, it causes your arteries and your veins to constrict. Hi, Terrell. It causes your arteries and your veins to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So essentially, it's like a water hose that is flowing freely, and then you bend it. And then this pressure starts building on this side, and the water is trickling out on the other side. That's your arteries. Those are your arteries and your veins. Okay. The pressure that's building up is the pressure that's on your heart. And when that happens, that sends your blood pressure up. So it's kind of like a valve that you're tightening, and it is putting pressure on the motor. Okay. Your heart is what pumps your blood through your arteries and your veins. But if your arteries and your veins are small, your blood is not going to flow freely. And the problem is insulin is in your bloodstream. Your red blood cells already have a bunch of insulin in it, so they can't let new insulin in. So now it's just out there. And once the insulin has been released from your pancreas, it doesn't just go back. It's just out there now, wreaking havoc. So at the root cause of your high blood pressure, it is you eating carbohydrates. You're eating potatoes. You're eating bread. You're eating pasta. You're eating a bunch of fruits, not for your blood type. You're eating oats. You're drinking liquor. You're eating burritos, you're eating tacos, you're eating all of those things you're eating breaded chicken. All of those things turn into sugar in your body. All processed foods will turn into sugar in your body. Then you're eating high fructose corn syrup, regular corn syrup, cornstarch, corn oil, vinegar. All of those things affect your insulin. Okay? So if you want to regulate your blood pressure without meds, you're going to have to be on a no carbohydrate diet. And it's not impossible for you to do. It's just that you don't want to do it because people like carbs. Carbs satiate you. And the reason that carbs satiate you is on purpose. And the reason that you crave carbohydrates is because you have parasites in your gut. Let me pour me some more detox tea in my cup. Okay. The reason that you cannot imagine your life without potatoes and sandwiches and cereal, everything that y'all eat for breakfast, is a carbohydrate. Think about it. No one's eating bacon and eggs for breakfast anymore because they made us all believe that bacon and eggs was bad. Pork is bad. I mean, come on. However, they stopped you from eating protein in the morning, which is what you should be eating. If you're going to eat anything in the morning, you should be eating protein in the morning. Actually, you should be eating protein at every meal. Every meal should be protein heavy. Every one. Because that's what your body needs. What is up, girl? What's up, healers? Your body needs protein to function properly. It doesn't need all these fruits and vegetables and all these other things that they've convinced us are so necessary for our good health. It's not true. What's necessary for our good health is protein. Because protein has all of the minerals and all of the nutrients that our body needs to function properly. All these other things do not. Okay? So in the morning, if you just happen to want something to eat for breakfast, as a blood type O, you should eat a hamburger patty. Why not? Or you should eat something left over from dinner. Put you a piece of steak to the side and wrap it up and eat it in the morning when you get up if you're hungry in the morning. Okay? You shouldn't be hungry in the morning, honestly. If you got up and had a glass of water in the morning with some lemon in it, you wouldn't even be hungry. The only reason people really be eating in the morning is out of habit. Because we have been trained to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So when you get up in the morning, the first thing you're thinking is, oh, what am I going to have for breakfast? But you're really not hungry. And a lot of times, if you feel a hunger pang in the morning, it's thirst. So what you should do is drink some green tea or drink some water with lemon, but you need to hydrate your body before you eat anything. So that could lead you into lunchtime. By lunchtime, your blood sugar has been so stable, you're not going to be starving at lunchtime, and you're going to make better decisions about what you want to eat. When you start your day off with carbohydrates, your whole day is going to be carbohydrates. Because it's a roller coaster all day. You're going to start your day with sugar. Your blood sugar is going to spike. Then it's going to crash. Then you're going to need some caffeine just to stay awake. Then you're into lunch. Now you're starving and you're going to do it again. You're going to go get a sandwich or something breaded or some pizza, which is wheat. You're going to get something that's carbohydrates. And the same thing is going to happen again. Your blood sugar is going to spike. Then it's going to crash. Then you're going to need a mid-afternoon caffeine, coffee, tea, something just to carry you over to 5. By 5, you're starving again because now your blood sugar has crashed again. So you're going to try to eat something quickly. And that's usually going to be something fast food, which is carbohydrates. Okay. But if you started your day off with water or green tea, okay, you can't overdrink green tea. You're not going to overdose on green tea. I drink a whole pot of tea every day. If you started your day off with water or green tea, I promise you, you're going to have a much better day. You're going to make much better choices throughout your day. Am I making this up, or have y'all had that experience? Haven't y'all had that experience? So, to bottom line it, the way to stabilize your blood pressure and get off of the meds is to cut carbohydrates completely out of your life. I eat in the morning not because I'm hungry, but I have protein. I can't seem to get enough protein because I'm not hungry. I make myself eat at least 2 meals. What are you having? What protein are you having? You're blood type A. So what are you eating in the morning? Sardines? Sardines is a great thing to start your day with if you're a blood type A. Great. If you are blood type A, B can have sardines. AB can have sardines. Sardines is the way to go. Absolutely. Just pop you open a can. Boop, boop, boop. What would be super quick? I mean, I can't think of anything quicker than a hamburger patty for blood type O's. I would just keep hamburger patties. I'd cook them all, put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in my refrigerator, take it out, put it on a paper towel, warm it up for 30 seconds, go on about my business. I'm telling you, if I were an O, I would make me a steak and just cut it into strips and just put it in a Ziploc bag and just grab a handful of strips and just all throughout the day. I probably wouldn't even have a sit-down meal. I probably just munch on steak strips all day. I would, just because I just like simplicity. I would just grab a handful of steak strips and call it a day. Every time you saw me chewing, you would think it was gum. It's steak. Every time. What you eating, steak? Why y'all not dehydrating y'all steaks? You know that's the new snack, right? You know that's the new carnivore thing, right? Y'all ain't seen it? Y'all ain't seen the dried steak? Y'all ain't seen it? That's the new thing now. Y'all better do that shit yourselves. I just bought some steak strips this morning. Can't wait to have some for breakfast. Man, I get me a roast and thinly slice that mug and put it right on in that dehydrator. You're welcome. I would put it right on in that dehydrator and dry it out and make my own little jerky. All you need to do is marinate it in some teriyaki sauce. And you don't even have to have a dehydrator. Let me tell you the hack. Let me tell y'all the hack. Thank you. Let me tell y'all the hack for dehydrating stuff. You don't have to be an appliance fanatic like me. Okay. Thinly slice get you a roast. Thinly slice it thin, super paper thin. Put it on parchment paper. Put it on a baking sheet and turn your oven on to 175, the lowest setting on your stove, and leave it in there for the next 8 hours. That is how you dehydrate. That's what I used to do before I had a dehydrator. I would buy my herbs from Restaurant Depot and I would just dehydrate them myself and put them in the Ziploc bag. I buy my dill, I buy my mint, I buy my cilantro, basil, and I put it all on the parchment paper on my baking sheet, and I leave it in there for the next 8-10 hours until it's completely dry. And then I let it sit out for a few more hours until make sure it's completely dry. And then you can just crunch it up with your hands, put it in your Ziploc bag and just crunch it up inside the bag. Boom, got your little spices cost, man. Spices be costing a lot of money. That's why I say buy them in bulk and dehydrate them yourself. But if I weren't, oh, that's what I would be doing. But you can also do that with vegetables. Like the greens that I got off my garden, I'm going to dehydrate all of them. And then whenever I have soup, I'm going to just sprinkle some of those greens in my soup. I have perpetual spinach. I have kale. I have collard greens that I harvested off my garden downstairs. And I'm going to dehydrate them because I actually buy dehydrated vegetables for my miso soup and stuff. Why the hell am I going to buy that when I can just do it myself? I'm going to dehydrate some cabbage. I'm going to dehydrate some onions and make my own. Why the hell not? But that's the trick. And those are your little snacks, folks. It's much healthier for you to dehydrate your own food because you know what's not in it. You know there are no preservatives. You know there's no extra sodium. However you season your dehydrated beef, that's how it's seasoned. So I need y'all to go out tomorrow and get y'all a steak or pull a steak or something out. You can do the same thing with lamb. You can do the same thing with turkey. I get those $20 turkeys from Costco. It's about this big. Usually I get it and I give it to the dogs. But this time I used half for myself and I made turkey salad. I ate that today with my little cottage cheese wrap. Let me tell y'all, sidebar. The little cottage cheese wrap, just put it in a microwave for like 20 seconds. I put tuna in one and my little chicken salad in the other. I have to admit, I'm very impressed with the cottage cheese wraps. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not even going to say that you O's can't partake. If you've been on your journey for a good year, I don't think it's going to be a problem for y'all, for real. I really don't. If you have gotten yourself well on your journey, hey Malika, if you've gotten yourself well on your journey, I think you guys can stomach the cottage cheese wrap because it's really not that offensive. It's literally cottage cheese, an egg, and some seasonings, whatever seasonings you want to put on it. Because I know y'all miss bread. I know you do. I know you do. Once in a while, do it. You know why I say that? Because I feel like if you do not have something to cheat with once in a while, you're going to go completely off the farm. Okay? I feel like if you try to be super, super, super strict, then you're going to fall off the wagon completely. I think that's why a lot of people are like, oh, I fell off. Let me explain something to you about that. This is not like alcohol. Okay? You know how people treat diets? Like you'll start a diet on Sunday, but by Tuesday you done fucked up. So then you're like, oh, I'll start again next week. So then a whole week goes by and then you're eating all kinds of crazy shit because now you done fell off and you're going to start all over again on Sunday. Don't do that. If you had a bad meal today, that means nothing. Just get up and get back on the thing tomorrow. Okay? How much cottage cheese do you? 1 cup. 1 cup of cottage cheese, 1 egg, right? Blended it together. But just listen. You ate some potato chips today? Get your tea, drink your tea, shit it out, and start again tomorrow. But don't eat the chips again tomorrow. Okay? Make cottage cheese chips. You probably just ate the chips because you wanted something crunchy. Right? I used 1 cup of cottage cheese and 1 egg. Blend it up till it's smooth. Put it on a big baking sheet, smooth it out, put your little seasonings on top, and bake it for like 30 minutes. I brought it out. Most people just wrapped it up and made one big wrap. I cut mine into squares. So each square was like the size of a slice of bread, but it's like super, super thin. So the other day I put my tuna on, tuna, lettuce, onion slices, and made a sandwich with my little bread. I didn't just use it as one wrap. I cut it into squares and put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the refrigerator. What keeps me on track while eating for my blood type is I dislike pain and inflammation. That too. Malika, are you blood type A? I just think that this is not going to hurt you as much as you sitting around drinking whole milk. Plus, cottage cheese is cultured dairy. Okay? So it has live cultures in it. It's not going to be as bad for you as, say, you, again, sitting around eating a bunch of cereal with a bunch of milk. Again, not every day. Not every day. But I don't see that should be such a problem for you guys. Okay? You're going to make some mackerel wraps? Ooh. I haven't brought the detox tea, please. Yeah, you got to get the detox tea. It's bomb. It is bomb. And it's on sale right now. You get both bags for $29. All your aunts of blood type AB. I think I'm the only AB in my family. Because my mom's an A, my dad was a B, and my brothers and all of the other siblings that I have, we don't have the same mother and father. So I know that both of my brothers were A's, and I'm the only AB. And then all the other people on my father's side are B's. So it's wild. What you doing, George?
Checking on my dog.
Are you cold?
Getting comfy.
Are you cold?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting comfy.
Okay. Love the outfit.
Thanks.
You about to settle in and play a game?
Yeah.
What game you gonna play?
I think me and Joy about to sell some drugs on Schedule 1.
That's the name of the game?
Yeah, Schedule 1, like Schedule 1 drugs.
Is that the name of the game?
Yes. The name of the game is Schedule 1.
And y'all,
in reference to Schedule 1.
I mean, I get the connection.
Got you.
But that's what the whole game is?
Yeah,
you find customers?
Yeah. So you start off.
They said hi, Jordan. That it's a robe.
Y'all.
She said, I like the sweater. It's an apple robe.
It's a whole.
It's got a big apple right here in the front.
And it's got a pocket.
Yeah, that's an interesting game. It has a pocket that's shaped like an apple.
Yeah.
So I bought it off TikTok shop. I got like 4 or 5 of them, all different colors.
But yeah.
So I have purple and red and something else.
You make or grow. You grow or make the drugs.
You grow or make the drugs.
And then you sell them to the customers, to the residents of Highland Point.
How do you win?
Oh, it's not one of those kinds of games. It's like a sandbox kind of a game.
What's NPC mean?
Non-player character.
I saw your meme and I was like, I don't get it.
So a non-player character is everyone but you in a video game. In a single
She
player,
said Jordan is so cool like mommy.
In a single player video game, you're the only player.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else are non-player characters.
Okay.
Which means they have.
Is that the people just be in the background just doing this?
That's it's everyone in the game. They have set parameters. They only do certain things. So, like for example, when you go to the grocery store and you walk up to a cashier, they have certain things that they say and do because that's their job.
Okay.
And especially if they've been doing that shit for like 20 fucking years, they've only been a cashier for 20 years, they're already like, they're just on autopilot doing their cashier job.
Gotcha.
So you can call them an NPC in that aspect because they're just going through the motions just on autopilot.
Okay.
Which is what y'all need to do with y'all food. Y'all need to be an NPC about y'all food and get on your goddamn blood type diet.
What does that mean?
Get in the routine and do the same thing over and over with your food, with
Gotcha.
your diet. Become an NPC with your diet.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
See how I did that?
I see.
You're welcome.
How you wove it together.
Yep.
You're a weaver.
I am, of sorts.
Anyway, thank you for the segue. He said, "Amen, Jordan." Y'all need to be NPCs with your food.
We doing we got weed and meth going right now.
I don't want to talk about it on my live. I don't need to get put off. I don't need to get put off another. I don't need to get put off another platform. Let's just not talk about it anymore.
Virtual.
I don't want to talk about it. Y'all know damn well if I would have been on TikTok, they would have pulled the plug already just from just what we was talking about. Yes, they would have.
Schedule one on TikTok.
Let's not talk about it anymore, son. Okay. Anyway, so I don't think, in my humble opinion, that you're going to have that big of an issue having the cottage cheese wraps once in a while. Okay. I say try it. See how your body reacts to it. Okay. I'm having a great time with it only because it's super simple. I can grab it, put my little tuna fish on it, and go on about my business. Okay. So the next question was, what hormone? Oh gosh, he's on the live now. What hormone does chicken raise? Oh yeah, you can do it with spinach. There you go. There you go. I totally forgot about the spinach wraps because I made mine with cottage cheese and spinach. You guys can blend up spinach and egg and make the wrap. There you go. Perfect. 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 Okay. Estrogen. Why is raising your estrogen so dangerous? What happens when your estrogen is high? Let's see how advanced you guys are with these answers. Let's see how advanced you guys are with your answers. Y'all didn't know it was going to be a test, did you? What happens when your estrogen is high? Did y'all know that 70% of women over the age of 35 have what's known as estrogen dominance? Are eggs okay? Eggs and chickens are not the same when it comes to this. Okay. I had at a time, the estrogen in today's eggs are a little bit higher than they were before, but they're not to the level that the chicken is. Okay. It's the meat of the chicken that is a problem. It's the meat of the chicken, not the egg. Okay. Eggs is what is known as nature's perfect protein. But you can always use egg whites because all of the nutrition from an egg is in the yolk. But you can always use egg whites. I used to buy egg whites in the cartons from like Sam's when I used to shop there. I don't know if they have them at Costco. I do know that they have them at Restaurant Depot as well. So you can just buy cartons of egg whites and make your wraps with that. You can't be throwing out quizzes. I freeze up. Girl, you always, I don't think you be freezing up because you used to taking tests. What happens when your estrogen is high? You said it causes inflammation, fibroids. It triggers disease in your body. When your estrogen is high, it triggers disease in your body. Okay? You only buy pasture raised? Yeah. So autoimmune diseases feed on estrogen. Estrogen is a growth hormone, so it creates growths in your body, fibroids, cysts, tumors, okay, polyps. It triggers diabetes. It triggers PCOS. It triggers prostate cancer in men. So if your estrogen is high as a man, it triggers type 2 diabetes as well as prostate cancer. Okay. But if you are battling an autoimmune disease, how did you trigger the autoimmune disease? Autoimmune diseases come from bad bacteria in your gut. It has triggered a certain gene in your body. Okay. Estrogen doesn't stop your body from making insulin. That's corn. Okay. You froze yesterday? I can't remember if I'm a good test taker or not. I haven't taken a test in so long. I have no idea. But estrogen is the root cause of your autoimmune diseases. That's your estrogen being high is what triggers diseases in your body because it taps into certain genes that create the disease. So remember the kidney, let's just use the chronic kidney disease as an example. Okay. Because of a certain gene, APOL1, hey lady, because of a certain gene, that APOL1 gene, your kidneys are susceptible or your kidneys are vulnerable to inflammation and what? Infection. Hey, Kevin. So by you eating certain foods that cause inflammation in your body, or by you getting infections like yeast infection, urinary tract infections, upper respiratory infections, viral infections, whatever, it's going to make it really easy for it to damage your kidneys. Same way with autoimmune diseases. Okay. Stress raises your estrogen too. We forgot about that. So if you're dealing with certain stressors as well, that's also going to raise your estrogen. So what are the other foods that raise your estrogen? Chicken, soy, if you are blood type B and O, oats. What else raises your estrogen? Liquor, stress, and if your liver is not functioning properly, because it is your liver that cycles out excessive levels of estrogen from your body. So if your liver is not detoxing the way that it's supposed to, if your liver is not doing what it's designed to do, then you're going to have higher levels of estrogen. Why is this boy messaging me? Oh, did you guys see the parade today? Jordy just sent me this. Oh my God. They couldn't have oiled these tanks. Did y'all see the parade? You see y'all talking about Beyonce having empty seats. Look at this. That was today. It was today. They said 1 million people are out protesting today. My question is, what are you protesting? What are the demands? That's like you kidnapping somebody, but you don't have no demands. Do you want them to pay you to get the person back? The Trump parade for his birthday, the military parade.
Oh, and it was terrible.
I saw some of it.
I just seen a video. It was terrible.
I saw some of it. It was on Hulu.
It was 27 people there.
It was live coverage on Hulu, and he was standing there saluting the tanks and people walking by. And then they showed soldiers dressed in uniforms from the different wars that we were in. So when I tuned in, I'm seeing these people marching in these uniforms, and I'm like, why do these people look like Beetle Bailey? And then they said, oh, these were the people in the Second World War or whatever. And I was like, then they had to show the uniforms of the people from Vietnam and the uniform. I was like, and then the tanks looked just old and rickety, no oil on just squeaking down the street. Most of the media coverage was on the protest. Yeah. Nope, it's today. And it was live on Hulu. Because I'll let me show you. It was on Hulu because I recorded some of it. There's some people looking like Beetle Bailey. Look. They're talking about the segregation of the soldiers. It was a bad personnel policy to have the units segregated. This is what they spent $45 million on. But you ain't got no money for school lunches. You ain't got no money. Did y'all hear about those senators that got shot? Did y'all hear about those Democratic senators and their spouses that got shot today? The guy that did it voted for Trump. Did y'all hear about him? I posted about it. A female senator and her husband were killed in their house. In their house. And then another state representative and his wife were shot. In Minnesota, where Tim Walz is the governor. The guy that ran for vice president with Kamala Harris. In Minnesota. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? What's really going on? And they clearly said it was a political assassination. You know what else was a political assassination? Dylan Roof. Y'all remember Dylan Roof went into that church and assassinated those 9 black people in that black church? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Did y'all know that one of the people in there was a sitting senator, black senator? No one ever talks about that because that's exactly who he was sent in there to kill. He wasn't sent in there to kill no random people. Yeah. That was an assassination. A sitting black senator from South Carolina. My question is, what are the demands? What are we marching for? I ask all the time, what are we protesting? Yes, he was a senator and his wife. Yeah. Nobody ever brings up the fact that he was a senator. No, you didn't even know, did you? They just brushed right over that. A sitting senator. It wasn't like he was retired. He was active. That was a hit. So what are the demands? Are we demanding the abolishment of ICE? Are we demanding impeachment? What are we doing? We can't just be out in the street walking around in circles. We need to put some draft some demands. I'm all for impeachment. I'm all for that. We just can't be out walking in the desert for 40 years. We need to have a destination. We need to have a purpose. What are we doing? This is why you're not going to find me out there marching for anything. Because unless I know what the final destination is, unless I know what the demands are, what is the purpose? Yeah. But let's be serious here. Okay. If it were me, I would be pushing for an investigation into the election. Because let's be serious. If we have all of these people that are against this president, there is no way that thing was not played around with. We all know never in history has an election been called that quickly. Before the polls even closed, they declared that this man was the winner. He's done said himself that it was a rigged election several times. And people just want to try to explain, oh, that's not what he meant. That's not what he meant. We all know that Elon Musk had a lot to do with what is happening. I would demand a recount. I would demand an investigation into that election, into Starlink, into Philadelphia, into all of Pennsylvania, because that's the only state that he ever talks about. That's the state where all the shit went down. I would demand that if you're going to hit the street, that should be what we're demanding. Yes, we can get out and vote all day on the midterms, but that's not going to. I'm a midterm voter. Okay. It is going to take Congress to impeach. I'm big on the midterms. But do y'all understand we're only 6 months in? Hi. We're only 6 months in. I know it feels like we've been doing this 2-3 years already, right? We're only 6 months in. How much more damage do you think this man can do before the midterms come? We're only 6 months in. Look at how much the country has changed in just 6 months. And at my door. This man done brought somebody's pizza to our house. We didn't order that. He done delivered this pizza to the wrong house. Jordan, did you order a pizza? Oh, I thought he brought it to the wrong house. Yeah, we're only 6 months in. That's the problem, guys. If we were close to the midterms, I'll be like, yeah, come on, let's go. I'll be out canvassing, giving money and all kinds of shit. 6 months. Me and my sister were talking about it today. Like, yo, we only 6 months in, dude. Like, this has been the longest 6 months of my freaking life. So imagine what the next 4 years are going to feel like 8. The next 4 years are going to feel like 8. The next 4 years are going to feel like a whole decade. I'm tired. I don't know about y'all. I'm tired already. And I ain't even done nothing. So definitely the midterms. We got a year and a half for that. We got a year and a half for that. It will be much worse before it gets better. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, they're making it worse on purpose. All of this stuff is being done on purpose because now they just did another thing that says an executive order. It's actually going through the Supreme Court right now that they can arrest you for anything. They can arrest you for anything and ship your ass right out of the country, American or not. You know what? Ain't nothing gonna change till stuff starts happening to MAGA. When they start picking up MAGA people, off the street, because yesterday, the Marines arrested their first American yesterday. Of course, it was a black man. Nothing is going to change until they start picking up MAGA folks off the streets. Because nobody cares that they're picking up libs. But again, like I always say, people that voted for him vote to hurt themselves just with the thought that it's going to hurt you worse. They don't care about hurting themselves as long as it hurts you too. This is why we don't have universal health care in America, because everyone would get health care. And they don't want everyone to get health care. The reason we do not have universal health care in America is because white people don't want black people to have health care. Go back and look at the history, period. They did not want health care because they didn't want us to have it. Historians have put out video. I've actually posted videos with historians talking about how they were fighting for this universal health care and how their opponents were white people because they didn't want us to have it. So they're willing to hurt themselves as long as they feel like they're hurting us, which is insane to me. That's insane. So you don't care about hurting yourself. You don't care about hurting your kids, as long as you can hurt your perceived enemy. Okay? So that's what we're dealing with, guys. But I applaud everybody that's out there marching, but what are we marching for? What is the demand? And secondly, peaceful protests take a long time. But the reason that the civil rights movement protests worked, because they were boycotting, which was fucking up the church's money. They walked for a year, which is fucking up the church's money. The reason that the Target boycott worked, because we were fucking up the church's money. You just out there walking in the street ain't hurting nobody's money. We need to target the money. We need to bankrupt all of these corporations, all of them. Not just for a little bit of time, bankrupt them. Because then that's going to cause the corporations to put pressure on Trump. And I have said this for years, the only way to change things in America is to fuck up the money, because all they care about is the money. The only part I can play is fucking up pharmaceuticals. My little part is making sure y'all don't buy no more of their damn drugs. That's my lane. That's the lane I'm going to stay in. Helping y'all to get up off these drugs so that the pharmaceutical industry takes a major hit. That's my dream. But we can't keep being out in the street marching, especially if it's not disrupting anything. Okay? And everybody's like, oh, they're burning cars. Y'all burn cars for sports events. It's so funny that everybody gets so up in arms and worried about property when you think it's black people in the streets. But every time there's a sports event and you guys win a championship or lose a championship, y'all tear shit up all the time. Nobody has a problem with that. No one's calling in the National Guard for that. Let y'all win a championship and the whole city is going to burn because you're celebrating. But the minute brown or black people hit the street and one car is set on fire, send in the National Guard, get the Marines. Round them all up. We need to keep that same energy. We need to keep that exact same energy. The whole point of protest is to disrupt. If you're not going to disrupt anything, what is the purpose? If you're not going to demand anything, what is the purpose? So we need to get organized on what our demands will be. And then let me know. Shoot me a memo or something. Put it on the internet. We don't have to have a meeting about it. But and like I've been saying for many years, tell me where we're not shopping. That's how you organize. If we're all doing the same thing or not doing the same thing, it's going to have the desired effect. If you say we shutting down Target and no one's spending any money at Target, boom, done. You say we're shutting down Starbucks, boom. You say we're shutting down Nestle, boom. Nobody's spending any money with these people. Shut them down. You say we're boycotting such and that's all you need to do is put that shit on the internet. We're not shopping at Walmart. Watch how Walmart pressures Trump. We're not shopping at Amazon. That is more effective than us actually being in the street. Because what we need to do is to turn the rich people against him. That's what needs to happen. We need to turn the rich people against him. Y'all see how he caves on these tariffs. The minute these companies come back to him and say, we're losing money, this industry is losing money, he flip-flops. Now, if your immigrants have been working for you for 20 years, we're not going to deport them. We have to hit the industries that support him. We have to hit the companies that support him. They're the ones that will put pressure on him and he will cave. He does it every other day. But us just being in the street ain't doing shit. We got to withhold the money. That's the sacrifice that nobody wants to make. It's easier for y'all to go out and make little cardboard signs and go, ah. Y'all don't want to sacrifice. Y'all don't want to stop spending. Y'all don't want to stop having a good time. You don't want to walk. You don't want to stop buying stuff. So if you don't want to sacrifice, nothing's going to change. We all have to be in agreement that we're going to sacrifice together. That's the only way we're going to win. So let's finish up the questions. Well, y'all let me know what y'all going to do. Let me know where I'm not spending my money at the next place. Okay. What are the 4 things? What are the 4 things that happen when you eat wheat? Put it in the comments. We're doing our test today. I put the questions up yesterday. Now we're answering the questions. What are the 4 things that happen to your body when you consume wheat? Put in the comments. I need some Jeopardy music. Y'all don't know? Inflammation. That's one. A violent inflammation in your intestines. What's the next one? Leaky gut, bad bacteria. No. It converts your happy hormones into anger and aggression hormones. That's 2. It converts your dopamine and your serotonin into norepinephrine and noradrenaline. That's 2. What's 3 and 4? Ooh. What's 3 and 4? That's the happy hormones, Vicky. What's 3 and 4? Nope, it's not bad bacteria. The bad bacteria is coming from dairy. Come on. Y'all want me to give y'all a hint? How do y'all forget these 2? How did y'all forget these 2? Why are you so tired? Why are you so tired? Why are you so tired? That's the hint. Why are you so tired? We already said the anger. We already said that one. The first one was inflammation. The second one is converting your happy hormones into anger and aggression hormones. The third one is, and to think I've been in an off and on relationship for 3 years. What's the third one? Why are you tired? All of that falls under insulin resistance. But you're tired because it slows down your metabolism. Remember, the lectins in wheat interfere with the hormones that run your metabolism. So instead of turning your food into energy, it turns your food into sugar and stores it as fat. And what is the 4th thing that happens when you consume wheat? Last one. What is it? If y'all couldn't get the metabolism, y'all damn sure ain't gonna get this one. That falls under inflammation. If you couldn't get the metabolism one, you damn sure ain't gonna get this one. Okay, and this one is diabolical. It stops your body from absorbing minerals and nutrients from other foods. Inflammation, Ivy. It stops your body from absorbing minerals and nutrients from other foods. Now you have mineral deficiencies. And mineral deficiencies is what's at the root of mental illness. So your depression, your anxiety, your bipolarism, your schizophrenia, your ADHD, your autism, your drug abuse, your alcohol abuse, all of those things come from mineral deficiencies in the body. And if you have mineral deficiency, Alzheimer's, if you have mineral deficiencies, your body is then forced to suck minerals out of your teeth and your bones. So now you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, osteoarthritis, gum disease, weak teeth, cavities. Because your body still has to function properly. So it's going to try to get these minerals from wherever it can. So this is why y'all got low bone density and all of that. because you like to eat bread and pasta and cereal and noodles. Okay. The last question is, what foods stop insulin production in your body? What foods stop insulin production in your body? Last question. Put it in the comments. Come on. You know this. Corn. Corn is one. What's the other one? Not dairy, not chicken. What two foods stop insulin production in your body? Not wheat. Do, 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 do. Not sugar. Nope. Not soy. You want a hint? Hoteps. Hoteps. Not vinegar. The hint is hoteps. Chickpeas. Well, Hotep's always trying to get y'all to eat. Chickpeas. Yep. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with my pot of tea. Y'all out here eating hummus and roasting chickpeas and shit, not realizing that that is going to make your blood pressure go up. Garbanzos. Because, first of all, garbanzos or chickpeas, hello, Eddie, are high in saturated fats. Okay? In blood type AB, chickpeas trigger lectin sensitivity. So swollen and painful joints, skin issues, gut issues, neurological problems, all of that stuff happens when you eat chickpeas. Okay? And insulin is what balances your blood pressure. So unfortunately, they never told us that insulin is so important for stabilizing our blood pressure. All we ever heard about insulin was diabetes, right? You never thought anything else about insulin if it didn't have something to do with diabetes. Well, it is insulin that will raise your blood pressure. Your lack of insulin is why your blood pressure is high. You either don't have enough insulin because you're eating foods, corn and chickpeas. And let's think about all the corn, because I'm not just talking about corn on the cob or corn in the can. I'm talking about high fructose corn syrup, regular corn syrup, corn oil, corn starch. Distilled liquor is made from corn. White distilled vinegar is made from corn. All of those things are made from corn, guys. And all of those things will raise your blood pressure. So you are never going to be able to stabilize your blood pressure. He said, I guess that's why so many diabetics are hypertensive. Yep. Because those two things are hand in hand. Grits, popcorn. Let's not forget the popcorn. Your hominy, your polenta. All of that is corn. Sorghum. All of that is corn. Okay. Corn is in every processed thing you eat. You just order some tea. Yay. Y'all better go get the teas. The teas are on sale. Oh, the teas are on sale for, you get both for $29. tamales, tacos. Don't forget tacos. Corn chips, Fritos. Y'all love a taco. Why y'all think 50% of Hispanics are diabetic? That tea is good. It is. Have y'all had it cold yet? Try the tea on ice with some fruit. Like put the fruit that you benefit from in your tea. I just make a big old I put it in here with some fruit and some ice. Taco Tuesday. But my house is always cold, so I always drink it hot for the most part. I was going to make me some matcha today. I just didn't feel like going back down the steps to do it. I wish matcha was easier to make. There's so many steps. How can I do it, guys? Can I just pre-mix my matcha and just leave it in the refrigerator and then just pour it in my cup with my soy milk? How would that work out? Can I do that? Y'all know I always be trying to find a simple way to do shit. I don't want to stand there with the little frother thing and all of that. It's delicious and it may be worth it. I just don't want to do it. I cannot eat anything with corn or corn byproducts. None of us can. No blood type is supposed to be eating no corn at all. Okay, I just don't want to. I don't feel like it. I barely want to eat. I barely want to eat. I love my kitchen, but I barely want to eat. That's why I need a manservant. I need a chef. I need a houseman. You put it in your bullet. I do have several blenders down there. TikTok and the bloggers make it harder than, yeah, because you got to have the little. I just want to blend it all. I think I'll just blend it all up, put it in one of my glass mason jars, and then when I'm ready for it, just pour it in, put my little soy milk in there and a little honey and call it a day. Because my mushroom, did y'all know I have mushroom matcha? My mushroom matcha is bomb. So it has cordyceps, reishi, lion's mane in the matcha. And that was a fully from the ground up formulation that I had a lab make. I never talk about it though. Please remind me to tell y'all about the matcha every day. Okay, I forget. But that was a personal creation. And I got it done. Again, there's that blood type B. You're so gung-ho about a project, and then you get the project done, and you're like, okay, so what's the next project? That's me. So chickpeas lower insulin production for all blood types. Correct. The same as corn. Y'all were not eating no chickpeas before these people told y'all that this is what you can get some protein from. Because they told you should be eating plant-based foods. So they had to look for beans. And listen, these beans and these legumes are going to cause you more problems than these other foods that benefit you. Nobody, especially blood type B, we can't have none of these beans. None. Because those beans and legumes and vegetables have the highest content of lectins. So they're going to cause inflammation and gas and indigestion and all those things. But again, they're carbs. And chickpeas are very, very high in saturated fats. Very. And that's something that blood type A does not need. Y'all don't need nothing. Y'all's bodies can't process stuff that's high in saturated fats. So you definitely don't want to do that. Yeah, you need to go get it because I put it on sale the other day and I forgot to take it off sale. So the mushroom matcha is usually, I don't know if it's 49 or 39, but I think I put it on sale for 29 so you guys could go buy it. But let me go check. Pat, did you come and say hi to everybody? You're just going to be rude. He's over here grumbling. So I guess that's a no. He's like, I don't feel like talking to anybody today. He's been kind of funky. Hold on. You want to say hi to everybody? Yes, it's on sale for $29.99, so y'all need to go get it. Pat, you can come and say hi to these people. Why are you acting like that? So it's got the reishi, it's got the cordyceps, and it's got the lion's mane. It's bomb. Okay. So go and get it. I'm going to leave it on sale for the rest of the weekend. You want to say hi? Come here. Hi. You say hi to everybody? All right, then. Come here. Hi, bud. Yeah, no, don't try to come back now that Link is over here. Y'all say hi to Link, Link. Hi, Linka, Binka, bud, Juju. I've decided today I'm going to get them a little brother. I don't know what it's going to be. Probably at the end of summer. But I'm going to get them a little brother. Hi. You say hi to everybody. They said hi, Linka, Binka. No, don't try to bring your sometime ass over here now, Fats. Fats is going to get so jealous. Hi. Thank you. Thanks for visiting. I'm not going to let you scratch me up again. I'll give you a snack when I'm done. Oh, go tell Pop to give you a snack. Go tell him. I got the dog some new food today. I don't know if you guys have seen this human grade dog food on Facebook. It's called Happy Howl, like howl at the moon. It's called Happy Howl, and you store it in your pantry, and it comes in these little boxes. It's about that big. But I wanted to try it because I think that they'll do really well on it. I've noticed that Fats's coat is not as luxurious as it used to be, and I think it has to do with the food that he's eating. So I wanted to try this out, and he loved it. No, it's human grade food. So there's 3 different flavors. There's lamb, and then there's turkey, and then there's beef stew. But literally it looks like something that you would have made. So it's got lamb chunks and rice and broccoli and carrots, and it looks bomb, but he loved it. So Linka loved the turkey. So I'm going to see how they do on this for the next couple of months, and I'll keep you guys posted. I'm a B positive and have RA. Is hemp milk okay? Because I'm extremely allergic to all things soy. Why would you be? You can't have soy because as a blood type B, you cannot have that. But you can have dairy, ma'am. You don't need to use hemp milk. You can actually have 1% or 2% milk. What are you putting milk on anyway? What are you putting milk in? Your matcha? You don't need that. You can just you feed your puppy kangaroo meat. I'm not going to do that. Nellie Jean, are you in Australia? Where the hell are you getting kangaroo meat from? I'm obsessed with dogs. Do you guys follow the Asher House? Do y'all follow the Asher House? It's a big Jewish man, and he has this big sanctuary, this 200-acre sanctuary, and he goes and rescues dogs from the shelters. Did y'all know that there are all these kill shelters all over the country? Where they just euthanize dogs because they don't have enough space for them. Did y'all know that? Nothing's wrong with these dogs. They're perfectly good dogs. And they're just putting them down. You guys need to go follow the Asher House. Okay? and I donate to them also. But he takes in sick dogs. He takes in dogs that have been abused, and it's amazing the turnaround of these dogs. Some of them are so emaciated. You have to be a psychopath to hurt a dog. You work for a pet supermarket for 8 years. Where am I going to get kangaroo meat from? What pet supermarket am I going to get kangaroo meat from? Why y'all slaughtering kangaroos? I don't understand. I'm confused. I'm not sure I want to do that. I saw a video of a slow roasted camel leg yesterday. I don't know what blood type that fits in. It was red, so I would assume blood type O's. The camel leg. Can you imagine how big the camel leg was? They slow roasted a camel leg and the meat just fell off the bone. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat that. Camel. A camel. Leg.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, y'all just eat any old thing. I would definitely, it definitely is an O thing for sure. Because it was red meat. So, I don't know. So, go get the matcha. Go and get the tea. So we can get rid of these parasites while these things are on sale. Take advantage of it. Because we only have, I think, like 60 of the daytime teas left. Which I need to now place in order. You learned a lot about how to feed them. You still have not told me where I'm supposed to go and get kangaroo meat from. You still haven't told me that. Fats, you want some kangaroo meat? Come here, let me see. He said no. Would you eat some kangaroo meat if I brought it in here? He said no. He's not going to do it. Okay, so are there any questions you guys have for me before I let y'all go? It's called Pet Supermarket. Hey, Sylvia, what happened to your account, girl? Are there any food-related questions y'all have for me before we go? Tomorrow we'll do all 4 blood types. It's called Pet Supermarket. Why not? People eat the food that is available in their region. You're right. I'm not in that region, though, so I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to eat dog. I'm not going to eat cat. I'm not going to eat kangaroo. I'm not going to eat camel. Now, when I was in Nigeria, I did eat bushmeat. And the thing is, bushmeat is an umbrella term. Bushmeat could be bat. Bushmeat could be monkey. Bush, whatever they caught in the bush is bushmeat. Well, the bushmeat that I ate, which I didn't know until after I ate it, was sugarcane rat. My son's Instagram was suspended, so they suspended mine. So what? What is your son doing on Instagram? What in the world? I ate sugarcane rat, and it was delicious. Y'all want to see what it looks like? I was pretty disgusted once I saw it the day after, but it was freaking delicious. I'm gonna tell you that. Sugar cane rat. Do y'all see down south that they be eating raccoons and shit? My country cousins were barbecuing muskrat and raccoons and shit. They be eating raccoons in the south, and raccoons, muskrats, roadkill. This. Look at this. That's him. He's in the muskrat family. Look. Well, they're eating it right now. Because if you go on TikTok right now and type in raccoon stew. Raccoon stew. They got recipes. Here. Raccoon stew with carrots and potatoes. Raccoon stew with potatoes and carrots. She said it's a no for me. Look, there he is. Look. You got my coon cooked down in some sauce. Look, 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 look. Look. They got some yams. They done paired it with some candied yams. He said he likes diabetes in his yams and some cornbread. So rice, raccoon, yams. He said good country eating. He said he getting his hot sauce is all he need. Y'all be thinking I be making this shit up. No, I'm telling you. My Wi-Fi is going bonkers. I'll have to watch the replay. It was alive when he cooked it. I saw on YouTube the other day, there's this old white man, this old Southern white man. I don't know if it was coon or muskrat or what, but they had caught it, they had skinned it, they had cut it up and cooked it. And he said, it doesn't matter what the animal is, as long as you can season it up, it's going to taste great. So he just traps everything. I saw another video where they caught this big old snake. I think they were in Romania or somewhere like that. Caught this big old snake, cut it up, cooked it, sat there and ate it. No, thank you. Listen, you get hungry enough, you'll eat it. You get hungry enough, you'll eat it. It's probably safer than eating the chicken. Absolutely. I would agree. I'm not even going to lie. It's probably safer for you to eat muskrat and raccoon than it is for you to eat chicken. It's all meat. As long as you know how to season it up, it's gonna be delicious. It's just that you can't stomach knowing what it is. That's why if they would have told me about that sugar cane wrap before I ate it, I probably wouldn't have eaten it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it was dark brown like that. It was over some rice. It was tender as hell. It was seasoned up. It was freaking delicious. And I was leaving the hotel with my friend the next day, and he was like, "Oh, that's the bushmeat you ate last night." There were two guys coming in, and he was holding this long tail over his shoulder. And when he pointed at it, I turned around and saw the big dead muskrat. Yeah, it looked like oxtail stew. And I was like, that face. Oxtail. That's what it looked like. Y'all the same people that be like, ooh, and be eating chitlins and pig feet. Pig feet. Bacon. Ribs from a pig. Pigs be eating humans. You want to get rid of a body? Feed it to some pigs. Ain't gonna be nothing left. Before y'all knew me, y'all was eating ribs. Y'all was eating pork sausage. You was eating bacon. You was eating pig feet. You was eating chitlins. You was eating it. I don't know why this guy keeps coming up on my Facebook. Apparently, he's a food influencer or mukbanger that died. This gay guy, something lips, and all he eats is pork, which explains the premature death. And he was sitting up there. One video was him eating chitlins, and the other video was him eating pig feet. And I was like, this is wild. But again, if you don't know what it is and you taste it, you'll probably eat it. Because it's going to taste like oxtail stew, or it's going to taste like beef stew or something. You live in Florida? Have y'all ever had alligator? Have y'all had alligator? I had gator in New Orleans. It's freaking delicious. I had a alligator po' boy. It tasted like a spicy sausage. And then I've seen them roast the whole thing. Now, I don't want to eat that. You had alligator tail? If I saw it roasting, I probably wouldn't eat it. But it coming on a sandwich with some lettuce and tomato and all that on it, it was delicious. But if I saw it, I probably wouldn't eat it. I couldn't do it. So you guys don't have any questions for me. I'm going to go, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow, and we'll do all 4 blood types and the ailments that they trigger. What's the wildest thing y'all have ever eaten? Put it in the comments. What's the wildest or the most exotic thing you've ever eaten? For me in Nigeria, it was snails. Yeah. Snails. I've never eaten turtle. The snails and the bushmeat. Cow tongue. I've never had cow tongue. Oh, you had camel? So how was the camel in Egypt? I just didn't know that was a thing. I just didn't know it was a thing. I've never had deer meat. I've never had it. I wouldn't even know what it tastes like. I mean, I know people that eat snakes and all that kind of shit. So the most exotic thing for me was the sugarcane rat and the snails. It was braised and it was like beef stew. I'm telling you, it fell off the bone. Ooh, deer jerky. Let me remind y'all again, because some of y'all were not here when I said this. You guys can make your own jerky, whether that's out of lamb, whether that's out of beef, or even turkey. If you don't have a dehydrator, all you have to do is cut your meat super thin. Just try to shave it as thin as you can. Marinate it in either some soy sauce, a little watered down, or some teriyaki sauce, and then put it on parchment paper on a baking sheet and put your oven on the lowest setting and let it sit in there for at least 8 hours. And that's how you can make I've had frog legs before. They tasted like chicken. That's how you can make your jerky. That's how you can make your little snacks without preservatives and oils and all that other stuff. But you can do that with turkey breasts. You can do it with a roast. If I were I just get a roast and just slice it super thin and just put it on 175 or whatever the lowest setting is on your oven and just let it sit in there and dry out. You can also do that with your herbs. I used to do that with my herbs before I bought the dehydrator thing that I had. It was good. A farm neighbor of mine in Pennsylvania brought it to us. The frog legs? No, wait. Oh, the cow tongue. But Hispanics make cow tongue all the time. You know, another thing, tripe is something I don't like. But that's also something that Hispanic people cook. I think they call it menudo, but in Nigeria it's tripe. They eat a lot of tripe over there. I don't like it. I don't like the texture of it. So I can't mess with it. So yeah, you can make deer jerky, whatever meat you benefit from, do that. Okay. Yes. I have never tasted it before though. You're from Costa Rica? Oh, that explains things. Yeah, I don't like tripe. Mm-mm. Can I have the website for the list of foods? Yes, it is brewitbaby.com. So let me show you. Brewitbaby.com. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. In the US, I'm not really an exotic food eater. But when I travel, I don't think there's really a point in you traveling and you not trying their food. Like I see people travel all the time and they're looking for the McDonald's, which makes no sense. Like it's the purpose of you visiting. Like to experience other people's culture, it is their music and their food. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of organ meat either. But when in Rome, I will try their food. I'm gonna tell you who has the worst food on the planet is the UK. The worst food on the planet is the UK. All day, every day. If you plan to go to the UK, please pack your own seasonings. Now, I'm not saying they can't fry some fish. I'm just saying that the fish don't have no seasonings on it. None. Zilch. Zero. Zippity doo dah day. I don't know why you go to war for spices and then don't use any. That makes no sense to me. You had a whole war over spices. I just, and then you want to put gravy on everything. It's just, they want to put gravy. Then when they have a Chinese, they want to put curry sauce, which is this brown gravy. Let me give you an example. Mayonnaise is a seasoning. It's the worst. I've been to the UK twice. I've been to London twice. Hated it. I had to find the black people. I had to go to South Brixton just to get some food. So my advice is if you're going to the UK, please pack you some Lowry's, pack you some kosher salt, pack you some garlic powder, some onion powder. You just need to have a whole carry-on with seasonings. Because, baby, it's bad. I said, let me get their fish and chips because they're famous for that. Your friends cook. Oh, not the raisins in the salad. You know, the beans, the potatoes, the mayonnaise, putting tuna fish on a baked potato with some canned beans on top. Just, I told you, everything for them is carbohydrates. They're big on the carbs. They're big on the French fries they call chips. Big on the chips. Big on the potatoes. Big on the bread. The what is that roll they call a pudding? Yorkshire pudding. It's not even pudding. It's a roll. It's a dinner roll. Why y'all calling it pudding? Hold on. I'm about to go, but I want to show y'all something first. Hold on. British food. What the hell is this? What the hell is that? You got French fries with cheese and pork and beans on top. French fries with cheese and pork and beans on top. Oh. 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 Mm-mm. 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 I'm trying to show both of y'all. Look, look. I'll show you first. Mashed potatoes. That's her plate. That's her plate. Sausages, which are hot dogs. Carrots. Hold on, I'm coming. I'm gonna show y'all in a second. Creamed lettuce. Creamed lettuce, y'all. First of all, I don't understand how they eat so much food. Gorgeous onion gravy. I'm about to show y'all. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I gotta turn the sound on because you need to hear her talking about it. Y'all need to hear this lady talking about this food. Hold on. Just hearing her talk about it.
It's dinner time. Tonight we're just doing a light dinner. We got some beautiful mash. Gorgeous.
Those are potatoes.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is my plate.
This is her
3
plate.
sausages. Just 3. And a tripod. Of course. Couple of carrots. Just a few. Yes. Some creamed lettuce. You gotta have a veg.
Creamed lettuce? What the fuck is creamed lettuce?
Lovely. A cheeky little Yorkie poo.
There's a Yorkshire pudding.
That was tiny. That was southern tiny. Unreal. Some gorgeous onion gravy. I mean, come on. Look at that. Top it.
What the hell is onion gravy?
All over. Yes. And that is my dinner. Unreal.
Yes, unreal.
It's dinner time. Tonight we're just doing.
He said, nope, I'm not going. Have y'all ever seen somebody just put 5 big ass carrots on top of a bunch of mashed potatoes with some hot dogs in the middle with some onion gravy on top with a big ass pot pie on the side? Okay. I just thought I would share that with y'all. What would happen to y'all's body if y'all ate all them damn carbs? What would happen to your body if y'all just ate all of those carbohydrates? What the hell is creamed lettuce? How is their blood pressure not through the roof? Let's see how many people in the UK have diabetes. What percentage of people in the UK that have diabetes? It says in the UK, approximately 8.2% of the population has diabetes. This includes both diagnosed and undiagnosed cases. Specifically, around 4.6 million people in the UK have been diagnosed with diabetes. It's estimated that another 1.3 million people may have undiagnosed type 2 diabetes. In addition, about 6.3 million people are estimated to have prediabetes. This means that roughly 1 in 5 adults in the UK are living with either diabetes or prediabetes. One in 5. It says, what country has the highest rate of diabetes? While China has the highest number of people living with diabetes, Pakistan has the highest prevalence of diabetes, meaning the percentage of the population affected. The highest number of cases. China has the largest number of adults aged 20 to 79 with diabetes globally, with around 140 million cases in 2021. The highest prevalence, Pakistan has the highest comparative diabetes prevalence with approximately 30.8% of its population affected. Well, China's so big. That's the thing. That's why they have the highest number, because they have so many people. But Pakistan having 30% of their population is diabetic. It says also Health Policy Watch also highlight factors like sedentary lifestyles with high carb/sugar diets as contributing to the high prevalence in Pakistan. What country has the lowest diabetes? The African region. Which country has the lowest rate of diabetes? According to the IDF Global Diabetes Atlas, the African region currently has the lowest prevalence of diabetes at 4.5%. Experts believe that the low levels of diabetes in Africa may partially be due to the low levels of urbanization and prevalence of obesity. If you just eat the meat and not the carbs, you won't have diabetes. But if you're sitting around eating rice and fufu and simo and gari and all of that, I bet out of all of the African nations, Nigeria has probably the highest population of diabetes. Let's find out. In Africa, what country has the highest level of diabetics? South Africa. In Africa, South Africa has the highest prevalence of diabetes, according to the medical study. The Middle East and North Africa regions, which include some African countries, also have a high overall diabetes prevalence. South Africa, studies show a high and increasing prevalence of diabetes in South Africa, with some estimates indicating a doubling of cases in recent years. The country also faces challenges in diabetes management and treatment, with many individuals not receiving adequate care. The International Diabetes Federation reports that the MENA region has the highest prevalence of diabetes worldwide. This region includes countries in North Africa, such as Egypt, Libya, Morocco, and Tunisia, and countries in the Middle East. Interesting. Diabetes in sub-Saharan Africa, Kenya, Mali, Mozambique, Nigeria, and South. Let's see, this is on the National Institutes of Health website. Let's see, South Africa and Zambia. Until recent years, a limited number of epidemiologists and public health experts mention the word diabetes. Let me see if we can find what percentage. The incidence of diabetes, typically type 2, is rapidly growing in the world. In 1985, an estimated 30 million people suffered with this chronic disease, which by the end of 2006 had increased to 230 million, representing 6% of the world population. Of this number, 80% is found in the developing world. It is estimated that during the next 35 years, diabetic worldwide prevalence will reach 25%, with India being the hardest hit. Well, let's look at their food. Yeah, because once you adopt a Western diet, it's a wrap. But what's at the root of food in India? Rice. Every meal is with rice. Every meal is with rice. Second, chicken. India eats tons of chicken. Tons, tons, tons. It said for a long time, Africa was considered safe from many of these diseases that are called diseases of affluence, which plagued the Western world. Similarly, there was a time when Africa was thought to be a continent relatively free of diabetes illnesses. Today, however, diabetes is very uncommon in Africa, a situation that seemed to have remained virtually static until the 1990s and more recently. And indeed, from 1959 to the mid 80s, medical statistics showed that the prevalence rate of diabetes in Africa was equal to or less than 1.4%, with the exception of South Africa, where the rate was estimated to be as high as 3.6%. There's a lot of white people in South Africa. It's a lot of white people. It's way more white people in South Africa than it is in all these other countries. So it says by 1994, the continent-wide prevalence of diabetes stood at 3 million and was then predicted to double or triple by the year 2010. Approximately 7.1 million Africans were said to be suffering from diabetes at the end of 2000, a figure that was expected to rise to 18.6 million by 2030. Shit. It says as more data was made available worldwide, scientists found that the adult population of Indian descent, Africans on the continent, and their descendants in the diaspora, and whites living in Africa, especially in South Africa and Tanzania, had the highest diabetes prevalence, respectively. A few years ago, the rate of diabetes among Africans appeared to have been 1 to 6%. Among the Caribbeans of African descent, 10 to 13%. Among African Americans, 12 to 15%, which is high. Interestingly, the white population in Africa has shown in the past either higher than or comparable rates of those of European whites. European whites eat a bunch of grains. Period. They're eating bread. They're eating potatoes. They're eating beans. They're eating carbs. So it says, interestingly, the white population in Africa has shown in the past either higher than or comparable rates of those of European whites, hovering around 6 to 10%. The majority of African diabetes is of type 2, which is 70 to 90%, with only 25% showing the complications of type 1. Of course, despite the alarm worldwide, the situation on the continent and elsewhere among people of African descent is worsening as we write. The racial and ethnic puzzle of diabetes has led scientists to posit that genetic predisposition might be a major factor, along with environmental factors, diet, lifestyle, which is inactivity, and residence. In Africa, diabetes is more prevalent among the wealthy and powerful, hence its designation as the disease of opulence, and remains more pronounced in urban areas where people tend to be less physically active, eating a diet that is rich in saturated fats and refined sugars. It is well known now that obesity is one of the most significant contributors to increased prevalence of diabetes, leading to the word diabesity. It came up with a word. Both in rural and urban areas. In comparison to the rural areas, the urban setting also presents an increased prevalence of obesity. In Africa, in general, the World Health Organization estimates that more than 1/3 of the women are obese compared to 1/4 of the men, with the poor being as vulnerable as the rich. While some scientists are less speculative, others claim that there is strong evidence for the role played by genetic and immunological factors in diabetes pathogenesis. For Africans and their descendants, some have noted that patients of sub-Saharan African origin who reside in diverse geographical environments or the African diaspora could potentially contribute to the understanding of the genetic and environmental mediators of both diseases type 1 and type 2. The diabetes pandemic, which previously consisted of mainly type 2, has evolved in association with rapid cultural changes, an aging population, increasing urbanization, dietary lifestyles, and behavioral patterns without prevention and control preparedness. However, many intrinsic individuals and societal obstacles, such as poor education and literacy, low socioeconomic status, and lack of access to healthcare, make uncertain the translation of diabetes research in sub-Saharan Africa. Ditch the carbs. In the last 60 years, this is when diabetes showed up on the scene. This is when it just became rampant. If you look at how they started processing grains, okay, all the grains in America are without any type of health benefit. There's no health benefit to any grains in America, okay? The way that they mill and process grains today, it completely takes all of the nutrition out. So there is no reason other than filler food for you to eat grains. All of these grains is just to fill you up. Think about it. Rice, mashed potatoes, swallow is what they call it in Africa. If you look at people eating Nigerian food, okay, they call their soup swallow because they don't chew it. And they're not eating it with a fork or a spoon. They're eating it with their hands. So they're literally taking some of the fufu and they're using that to scoop up the soup. They put it in their mouth and they swallow it. That mound of starch, which is what it is just there to fill you up. Because if you did not have this mound of fufu or this mound of starch, you would probably not get enough soup to satisfy you or to make you full, because you got to stretch the soup. Okay? You got to stretch the soup. So if you make a big old pot of soup and you got 26 kids, I had a friend, Steve Toluwache, who was one of 26 kids. Can you imagine? Because his family, because you know it's legal, you can have multiple wives. So his father had like 3 wives. There were 26 kids to feed. So they would make one big pot of stew and one big old thing of simo or pounded yam or whatever, and you got to have a mound of starch with this little portion of soup to dip it in. The problem is the starch. Okay? Because I was thinking I was going to do a foods list for Africa, specifically Nigeria, but then I was like, how would they pay for it? Because I would literally have to find equivalent vegetables to our collard greens, because a lot of the stuff that we have here is not indigenous to Nigeria and vice versa. So I would have to sit and research what would be the equivalent fruit to this. What would be the equivalent green to this? Like their leaves are ugu and all of these different types of leaves that are not indigenous to America. So that would be some serious work, and I'm not giving that shit away for free. Absolutely freaking not. Okay? It would be very successful if I could figure out how they're going to get it. Because trust and believe, they're always on some sort of diet. They're always taking some sort of diet product. Trust. Okay? So I'm going to go, I'm going to go relax my brain. But I'm going to be back tomorrow And we're going to do all 4 of the blood types. So make sure you guys go and get your tea while it's on sale. Pick up your matcha, your mushroom matcha. I'm gonna make me some mushroom matcha tomorrow, but I'm gonna blend it all up and put it in my refrigerator so I can make it easy. Quick, fast. Okay. So I love you guys, and I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow. Bye. Oh, usually when Fats hears me say that, he comes running up. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Fat Daddy. Hi. Hi, baby doo. You're welcome. Oh, I didn't leave yet. I'm still here. I'm trying to figure out how to close my thing. Bye. Yes.